Welcome back to Wittenberg Academy's Latin 1 course, Latin 2 course, lesson 34 today in first year Latin. We're on page 59. And third declension nouns. We know nouns from two different declensions already. The first declension, like rosa, with the endings a, I, arum, is, as, is. We know masculine and neuter nouns from the second declension. Nouns like hortus with endings us, e, o, e, orum, is, os, is, and nouns like templum, which are neuter, ami, o, a, orum, is, a, is. And now we're ready for nouns of the third declension. Latin nouns and adjectives whose genitive singular ends in is belong to the third declension. These are divided into two groups: consonant stems and E stems, or as we'd say in English, I stems, according to the character of the stem, which is seen most clearly before the ending in the genitive plural. Paradigm for consonant stems, as in consul and homo. So let's take a look at these. You can see the endings. Let's first look at the terminations, the endings there, so the third column. No nominative singular ending, that's dropped off, so you have this just bare stem, sometimes the stem and sometimes not. So look at consul. That happens to be your stem, not the nominative singular, to which you add the endings is, em, ace, ibis, ace, ibis. But for homo, the word for man, you've got a different stem. The word is actually, the stem is actually homin. So homo, but then hominis, homini, hominem, homine, homines, hominum, hominibus, homines, hominibus. So you'll want to write out, again, a paradigm card for consul, including the whole word, and then just the ending, and also for homo, add another one for the whole word. So the endings are nothing in the nominative, and then is, em, ace, ibis, ace, ibis. 3. Gender. It will be best to learn the gender of each word along with the word itself, owing to the fact that no rule can be made wholly complete. The following general rules will be of service. And again, he's exactly right. You can look at these as rules of thumb for what the gender of Latin nouns will be. But here, especially in the third declension, there's no rule that's going to be completely useful. For example, nouns having the nominative in s, or o are masculine, provided there are more syllables in the genitive than in the nominative. So what's the point of learning a rule that complicated? You're much better off simply learning as part of the vocabulary whether the noun is masculine or feminine. And so I'm not even going to read through the other two rules. They're just as complicated and rather cumbersome to learn. So in the middle of page 60, some new vocabulary. Odd, it's a preposition and it takes the accusative. It means near to. So on your vocabulary card on the front you write odd, and then on the back, or if you make them, as I prefer, the note card with 18 words on each one, on the English side, you're going to write accusative, comma, near to. You need to know that odd always takes the accusative. Arbor is the nominative. Arboris is the genitive, and it's feminine, means tree. So again, on your card, you're going to write on the front arbor, and then on the back, write arboris, comma, feminine, comma, tree. So you need to know you need to know what the word means, and it means tree. But then you need to also remember what is its genitive. So you have the stem, so you can decline it, and then also whether it's masculine, feminine, or neuter. Kaiser, Kaisaris, is masculine. It's a name, Kaiser. Copii, or the genitive plural, copiarum. Troops or forces, so that always appears in the plural. You'll know copii. Gallus, masculine, means a person from Gaul, a Frenchman. Honestus It's an adjective. It means honorable or of good family. Imperator, imperatoris, means commander, general, and of course our word emperor, commander. Opto is a first conjugation, like laudo, means to desire or wish. And Romanus is an adjective for Roman. All right, we'll move through the Latin to English exercises now. Again, as always, I invite you to pause the video after the read through of each sentence, and then restart the video after you have made your own translation and written it out, and then grade your own translation. So, Graecia copias Pompeii Romani consulis expectabat. Again, Graecia copias Pompeii Romani consulis expectabat. Pause the tape and make your best effort to translate it. And now let's take a look at sentence 1. First, we're looking for a verb. There's only one, expectabat. What kind of verb is that? Well, it's you need to remember that it's imperfect. Imperfect. So, and expecto means wait. So he, she, or it was waiting. Imperfect tense, past time, continuous action. He, she, or it was waiting. Well, what was waiting? We need something in the nominative for a subject. The only nominative here is Graecia, Greece. Greece was waiting. What was it waiting for? We need something in the accusative. It was waiting for the kopios, the forces. Greece was waiting for the forces. Pompeii, genitive singular, we translate the genitive with of. Greece was waiting for the forces of Pompey, and now we have an appositive. That is a description of a person in other terms. It's set off by commas. It agrees with Pompey in gender, number, and case. Greece was waiting for the forces of Pompey, the Roman consul. Pompey, the Roman consul. They're all genitive, they're all singular, they're all masculine, they all refer to Pompey. Greece was waiting for the forces of Pompey, the Roman consul. Sentence 2. Consules literas imperatoris populo recitant. Again, consules literas imperatoris populo recitant. Pause and make your best effort. The only verb in sentence 2 is recitant. Recitant. That is present tense. They are reading. What is the nominative? Consules is the nominative, our new third declension, nominative plural. The consuls were reading. What were they reading? They're going to be reading something in the accusative. Literas. The consuls were reading letters. The letters imperatoris. What case is that? It's genitive. Look at your new endings. Is. The consuls were reading the letters of the emperor, populo. What case is that? It is ablative, or excuse me, dative. Same ending, but here it's dative because they're reading it to the people. So the consuls are reading the letters of the emperor to the people. Sentence 3. Legatus multum frumentum e provincia consulibus mittit. Again, legatus multum frumentum e provincia consulibus mittit. So what is the verb? The verb is mittit. Third person, singular, present, indicative active, from mitto to send. So it's he, she, or it is sending, or sends. Who's doing the sending? We need something in the nominative. The only thing that answers is legatus. So the legate, or the lieutenant, sends. What does he send? He sends something in the accusative. What's in the accusative? Multum frumentum, much grain. The legate sends much grain, a provincia, from the province, out of the province. The legate sends much grain out of the province consolibus. Again, dative, plural this time, to the consuls. The legate sends much grain from the province to the consuls. Sentence 4. Galli sunt homines asperi et barbari. Galli sunt homines asperi et barbari. What's the verb? Sunt. Does it have something to go with it? Certainly does. In fact, all the other words in the sentence except the word and. Galli, homines, asperi, and barbari are all nominative plural masculine. The Gauls are men, hard and barbarous. So in English we would say the Gauls are hard and barbarous men, or tough and barbarous men. So you notice there, homines is third declension, masculine, plural, nominative. Galli is second declension, masculine, nominative, plural. So even though the endings are different, e and ace, they have the same meaning. They're both nominative plural. They're just in different declensions. Much like in English, we have different declensions of nouns. We basically have a regular declension, like toy, toys. But then we have several irregular declensions: child, children, goose, geese, deer, deer. So you have to learn our irregular declensions, and here in Latin they simply have 5 very regular declensions. Yes, I'm afraid they have 5. We're only through 3. Sentence 5. Parantne puellae athletis victoribus coronas. Parantne puellae athletis victoribus coronas. Where's the verb? It's parant, with that ne on the end just indicates that it's a question. Parant, they are preparing, so it's a question. Are they preparing? Who's preparing? Puellae, need something in the nominative. Are the girls preparing? What are they preparing? Something in the accusative, a direct object. Coronas. Are the girls preparing crowns? Athletis victoribus. Are the girls preparing crowns for the victor athletes, for the winning athletes, for the victorious athletes? And again, they're preparing them for somebody, so that's the dative. Sentence 6. Kaiser auxilium amplum e consule postulat. Kaiser auxilium amplum a consule postulat. What is the verb? Postulat means asks. It's just present tense. Kaiser asks. Kaiser is, of course, in the nominative. Caesar is asking. Caesar asks. What does he ask for? Has to be in the accusative. Auxilium amplum. Caesar asks for much help, ample auxiliary forces. A consule, from the consul. Very good. You can try your hand at putting these things into Latin orally, but we're really focusing on translating from Latin now. In a future course, perhaps we'll work a lot more on our composition. But for now, I'd like you to not spend too much blood, sweat, toil, and tears on translating things into Latin, and spend your time learning your vocabulary and your forms. That will do it for lesson 34.